you are there, say mitosis.
Mitosis.
If you're not there, just breathe heavily. Alright. Okay. This is the word of God that says, in the course of time, David inquired of the Lord, shall I go up to one of the towns of Judah? He asked. The Lord said, go up. David asked, where shall I go? To Hebron, the Lord answered. So David went up there with his 2 wives, Ahinoam of Jezreel and Abigail, the widow of Nabal of Carmel. David also took the men who were with him, each with his family, and they settled in Hebron and its towns. Then the men of Judah came to Hebron, and there they anointed David king over the tribe of Judah. When David was told that it was the men from Jabesh Gilead who had buried Saul, he sent messengers to them to say to them, the Lord bless you for showing this kindness to Saul, your master, by burying him. May the Lord now show you kindness and faithfulness, and I too will show you the same favor because you have done this. Now then, be strong and brave, for Saul your master is dead, and the people of Judah have anointed me king over them. Meanwhile, Abner, son of Ner, the commander of Saul's army, had taken Ishbosheth, son of Saul, and brought him over Mahanaim. He made him king over Gilead, Ashuri, and Jezreel, and also over Ephraim, Benjamin, and all Israel. Ishbosheth, son of Saul, was 40 years old when he became king over Israel, and he reigned 2 years. The tribe of Judah, however, remained loyal to David. The length of time David was king in Hebron over Judah was 7 years and 6 months. I struggled with that too this week, actually. And the topic of today is waiting. God puts you through processes. He puts you through certain things in life. And I just want to, before I start, I just want to tell you that if God is putting you through a process, that means He believes that you can go through it. He's not going to put you through a process that you can't go through. And if you end up entering a process that you can't go through, God will take you out of it. So I just want to encourage you by saying that don't worry about yourself because God's got your back. You know, even if you feel worthless, even if you feel like you're not worth it, just know that God put you in a very specific place so that you can go through the process with Him and do it well. So when I used to play the Game Boy versions, the GBA, yes. What I would do is, I wanted to be the very best, right? Because Ash told me to. So I wanted to conquer. I wanted to win all these 8 badges and wear them digitally, I guess. And I wanted to win everything. So what did I do? I went through the wastelands of Pallet Town and the corners of Viridian City, and I trained with my Pokemon. I'll just aimlessly run through grass, hoping to run through Pokemon, and just constantly beat them so I can level up my Pokemon over and over. Because I wanted to get my Pokemon shredded, so they can destroy gyms. That was the goal. And for me, I didn't want to be challenged with those gyms. Because if I failed, I just turned it off and turned it back on. And then I would just go back to my previous checkpoint. So I didn't feel like losing. I'm not about that losing life. So I overtrained my Pokemon to the point where like Magikarp Splash would like kill people. Which is not true, but that is what I'm going for. I wanted my Magikarp to destroy gyms with Splash. I was ambitious. I didn't want to wait to be challenged. I didn't want to go through that process. I just wanted to just do it my way and just win my way. And when I was a kid, I wanted Pokemon to be pretty real. Like, let's be honest. Some of you guys probably want Pokemon to be really real. Yeah, you're nodding. Yeah. And even to this day, it's kind of weird to think that Pokemon might be real, but I think it'd be really cool to have them. But I'm pretty satisfied with Pokemon Go, and I know a lot of you guys are. And sometimes we're actually satisfied with the lesser version of the actual thing. Sometimes so I wanted to see Pokemon like Pikachu right here, but I'm satisfied with the digital version of it. And that's the lifestyle that we live in. And there's so many better options, there's so many good things, but we don't want to wait so we settle for the lesser version. You know, let's look at fast food restaurants. You know, if you're hungry, you might just stop by Quick Check and go through a drive-thru and just pick up something. When in reality, you could just be at home, you could buy some groceries, you could cook a healthier meal and a better meal for yourself. But none of us want to wait for it. Because it's too much time consuming, because we think we could do something so much better with our time, when in reality we're just swiping to catch Pokemon. That's what we're doing. Trying to save time to do as much as we can. And we don't want the good stuff or the healthier stuff because we don't want to wait for it. Now, the key to waiting is obedience and submitting to the process. Now, submitting to the process that God is putting you through, so submit to it. If it's a season of hardship and He tells you to go through it well, go through it well. If God tells you that it's a season of giving, give well. If it's a season of healing, take some time to receive love from God, take some time to hear from God, and take that time to heal for yourself. And the key part of it is submitting to the process. So, David, the future King David, was initially a shepherd boy. And when he was in his teenage years, let's say about 13, Samuel came to his house, and Samuel said he was going to be the next king. So Samuel came to David's house, and he literally went through all of David's older brothers, like, nope, 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 nope. Like, you got any more of these? And then Jesse brings over David. And then if we go to 1 Samuel 16:12 real quickly. No, you don't have to turn there. I'll read it. So he sent for him and had him brought in, which was David, who was glowing with health and had a fine appearance and had handsome features. Then the Lord said, "Rise and anoint him. This is the one." So Samuel took the horn of oil and anointed him in the presence of his brothers. And from that day on, the Spirit of the Lord came powerfully upon David. Samuel then went to Ramah. So around the age of 13, in his teenage years, I'm guessing, David was called to be the king. And it's funny because right after that passage, literally right after it, David actually is called to be a servant of Saul, who is the current king. Now, David was called to be king, but right in the next scene, he's called to serve the king that he's supposed to replace. And because Saul disobeyed God, the Spirit of the Lord lifted off from Saul, and Saul was being tormented by evil spirits. And instead of going to God, Saul actually sought out faster ways, like the instant gratification method. And he looked for a person who could play the lyre, which David was able to play. And when he played, evil spirits would lift off from Saul. So basically, David served the man who he was supposed to replace. And I think that shows a lot of honor, because David didn't try to do anything funny. He didn't try to make him look bad. He didn't try to mess with him. He didn't try to overthrow his throne. He submitted to the process of him becoming king, and he honored Saul. So at the age of 13, David was called to be the king, and immediately he submits to that process by serving even the man who was supposed to replace. Now, what's amazing is that on David's journey of becoming king, he trusted God with his destiny simply by waiting. Now, how did he do that? He submitted to the process and he obeyed God. Now, even though he had to play the lyre for Saul, even though Saul tried killing him multiple times, one thing that I really admire about David, this is the one thing that I really believe that set him apart, was that he didn't take matters into his own hands. Even when things got kind of tricky, when things got kind of iffy, David didn't take things into his own hands. He was called to be the king, but he didn't take matters into his own hands because he trusted God with the process, and he submitted and obeyed God. And even when Saul tried to kill him, David didn't want to kill him back. He kept honoring him, he kept showing him mercy, and he was constantly kind to Saul as well. I mean, if someone tried to kill him, everything bad. Maybe they prevent them right then. But that's what I really love about David. Because Saul was so insecure as a king that he wanted David murdered. And whereas David was so secure in God that he didn't let the little things bother him, and that he just simply submitted to the process. So, submitting, what does that really say? So, submitting is telling God that you trust Him with an aspect of your life, and that whatever happens, you will faithfully believe that the process is good. When you submit, you're telling God, God, this aspect of my life, I trust you with it. And that whatever happens, whether I perceive it as good or bad, I'm going to trust and believe that the process is going to be good. Let's say I want to get from point A to point B, which is up on the stage. Let's say on the way, I trip and I break my knees or something. Right? So let's say I break my knees. And on the way there, I have to recover my knees, and I have to strengthen my knee all over again, just so I can get to point B. Now, what if these stairs were so high that initially I wasn't able to climb the stairs? What if my knees were too weak? What if my knees were too weak? What if I hadn't properly prepared myself? So initially breaking my knees, it seems bad, it seems harmful, but in reality it was actually pivotal for me to break my knees so I can get up there. Sometimes some things may seem bad to us, we perceive it as bad, and the world says it's bad. But if you think about it, if you really look back on your life, in those moments of hardship, isn't that where you all grew the most? When life got a little bit tougher, isn't that where you grew the most? Isn't that where you realized that there was something greater than yourself? So in those moments of hardship, submitting in the process is knowing that God is good, and knowing that the process, whether you think it's good or bad, is good in the eyes of the world. And for me, I had a hard time submitting to the process. And King David, we said around 13, he was called to be the king, and he submitted to the process. Now, when I was 12, 13, I was very chubby. I was about 4'11", and I weighed about 130 pounds. And so, if you don't know how chubby that is, I couldn't see my toes until I was 14. From the age of 7 to 14, I couldn't see my toes because my stomach was blocking the way. So when I was around the younger David's age, I was rather chubby, and all of a sudden, actually, when I turned 14-ish in 8th grade, I was 5'7", and I was 128 pounds. So I grew a lot, and I just got really skinny all of a sudden. And that's actually when my friends started to play football. They started to have muscles, to put up numbers on the benches. And I was like, I like adding numbers. So I wanted to get big too. Little did I know that lifting and bodybuilding was a very meticulous process that I still don't really understand because I've only seen that, I've never experienced it. But I didn't realize that bodybuilding was so meticulous. Your diet needs to be very precise. Your workouts need to be very creative. You need to switch between push and pull workouts for your arms or something, and nothing makes sense to me. But it's a very meticulous process. And for me, I just wanted to put up numbers. I just wanted to look cool. I know you guys 8th grade, you guys want to look cool without trying to look cool. You want to fit in without trying to fit in. I was there. I wanted to be really good at things without trying. I wanted to look cool without trying to look cool. I know this is what you're going through. That's what I wanted to do too. I just wanted to get brolic like my Pokemons. Right? So what did I do? Beginning of 8th grade, I was like, I'm gonna get huge. So I wanted to just gain weight really fast. Because 5'7", 128 pounds is actually pretty skinny. So what I started doing was, I started eating ramen noodles in English. I started eating samgyeopsal, which is pork chops, I believe. I ate those, that's basically all I ate. For breakfast, and then I would eat lunch at school. I'll come home, eat lunch number 2, and then around 5 or 6, I would eat dinner number 1. Around 8-ish, I would eat dinner number 2. And then every night, I ended the night with cereal, with Frosted Flakes. Now, I don't know who's been lying to y'all, but Frosted Flakes is terrible for you. I didn't know that. I've been eating it for years. It's just tiger and sugars. It's literally all sugar. And I always ended my night with a big bowl of cereal. I always did that. And I always ate to the point where my stomach hurt because I knew that's when my stomach was expanding. So next time I could eat more. I just kept eating more and more and more. Now, it was to the point where I was able to eat 4 lemons in one sitting by myself. That's disgusting! That's 2,000 calories in one sitting. It's disgusting. Don't ever do that. It's disgusting. Now, I didn't just eat. I signed up for the gym. I wanted to get shredded. So I signed up for the gym. And I did a crazy workout. Actually, it's not even a workout. I did a crazy movement. Because I didn't know anything about gyms. I didn't know anything about lifting. I didn't know you had to lift different parts of your body. I didn't know like different muscle groups existed. Like latissimus dorsi, I've never heard of it until like freshman in high school. But the one movement I did was called the chest press. All you do, you sit down on the machine, you grab bars, you put on some weights, and you just push. That's all I did. So I would start from probably around like 60 pounds. I'll do 10 reps, go down 10 reps, go down 10 reps, go down 10 reps, go down 10 reps until it was 5 levels down. At the 5th level, I'll do 10 more, and then 10, 10, 10, 10, and then at the lowest weight, I'll just go as much as I can. So this is all I did for a year. For the entire school year of 8th grade, this is all I did. Literally, this is all I did to eat ramen. So, I went from 128 pounds, it's gonna be shocking, but at the end of 8th grade, I was 160 pounds. I got brolic in these areas. Because all I did was chest press, my triceps were huge. And then I was able to like flex my pecs, you know when you can make your pecs dance? I was able to do that. I was like, what is this sensation? I started doing that. And I realized that when my friends would flex like this, they would have like a little ball. But I didn't have that. So all I had was a huge bulge in my triceps. So all I did was this. Chest press only works at your chest and your triceps. Nothing else. Didn't work out my leg. I skipped leg day for like 5 years of my life. And so I didn't want to submit to that process of proper bodybuilding. What did I do? I took matters into my own hands, and I took the shortcut. I took my own way. What I perceived was the faster way. But what did I end up with? Huge triceps, and nothing else. Nothing else. And I ended up getting like a high dependency for sodium, and like my taste buds were like all messed up, and I couldn't taste things for a while. Because all that sodium from ramen, it ruins your taste buds. And actually, one of the ramen fasts for a year, and I almost had a heart attack, which is a completely different story. But so I didn't want to submit to that process. And what I got at the end of it wasn't what I expected. It wasn't what I envisioned. Because I was too prideful to submit to the process. I was too prideful to look up proper workouts and proper eating habits. Now, you probably asked God for something, and you probably might be waiting for something. Now, I'm going to tell you that it's okay to not get what you want immediately. That's okay. Because we live in an era where instant gratification is like a normal thing, it feels weird to not get what we want. So instant gratification is getting what you want immediately. Getting what you want when you want, basically. Like you want to see cute videos of puppies on YouTube, you just boom, you see puppies on YouTube. Like you want to find like this cute boy on Facebook, you just type in his name and you find him. Boom. You want to see how to do leg day, you just YouTube it. Boom. It's everything's so fast. As I mentioned before, fast food, immediate. You literally just drive through, you throw money, and you grab food. We live in an era where instant gratification is so normal. So I'm here to tell you today that if you don't get what you want immediately, it's okay. It's okay. Now, just because you think this is something that you want, because it's something that you desire so badly, doesn't necessarily mean that's what God wants. So don't get that twisted. Just because you want something really badly, doesn't mean God wants that really bad. Because if you're not in right standing with God, if you're kind of lost in your own sins and you want something so badly, and your desire isn't pure, isn't from God, it's not going to be something that God necessarily wants. And if He doesn't give you something now, that doesn't mean that God's not going to give it to you. It might mean that God is just developing your character. It might mean that God wants you to grow so that you can fully handle, so that you can fully appreciate and steward whatever you ask God for. If you ask for such a big blessing, He's gonna build you into a character that can handle that big blessing. A character that can really appreciate that blessing, handle that blessing, to steward it well, so you can bless others. Because we're called to be blessed, to be a blessing. And If we go to the passage today, let's go back to 2 Samuel chapter 2. Now it says, in the course of time, in verse 1 it says, in the course of time, David inquired of the Lord, shall I go up to one of the towns of Judah? He asked. So, Saul died. And in my mind, and I'm sure in your minds too, your automatic reaction is like, oh, David must be king next. Because David was called to be king, right? God told him that he was going to be king when he was 13. And Saul died, so the next king should be David. So, if I was David, I would have just went and claimed the throne immediately. I would have just been like, where my throne at? But David went to God. He said, God, shall I go up to one of these towns? He inquired of the Lord. I thought that was amazing that he submitted to the prophet so much, and he wanted to know what was on God's heart. He wanted to know what God wanted for him. So that even when things were so worldly obvious, he just always just wanted to double check with God. It might have been so obvious for him to just claim the throne, but he still didn't want to take matters into his own hands. Even when the throne was right there, even when his kingdom was right there, David still didn't take matters into his own hands. He didn't eat lemon and some of them check that stuff. He didn't do that. He looked at proper routines and did the right things. And then if we look at verse 3, it says, in Hebron, David was anointed king over tribe of Judah. So tribe of Judah, try to think, where is that from? That probably sounds familiar to you guys. The answer was Judah. That is correct. That is in the phrase. But a tribe of Judah, that is a lineage that Jesus will later be born in. And David was nearly 30 when he eventually becomes the king of Israel. And what's crazy is that when he was about 13, we're guessing, around his teenage years, he was called to be king, but he actually waited about 17 plus years. 17 plus years. David's obedience in the waiting process, his submission to the process, gave him the honor. It brought about an honor to have the Savior of the world in his genealogy. It's a fruit that is still evident to this day. In junior high, we talk about fruit. Good fruit, bad fruit, lasting fruit, short fruit. And David's lineage brought about Jesus, and Jesus is still alive today, and he gave us salvation, and he gave us freedom. Now, in contrast, let's look at Saul, who couldn't submit to the process of becoming king. Through Samuel, God told Saul, go destroy the Amalekites. Completely destroy them, like obliterate them. Through Samuel, God said, kill everyone, kill all their animals. But Saul doesn't do that. Saul actually killed everyone except the king, and he saved all the best animals. He wanted to take those animals and sacrifice it and give it as an offering to God. But if we look at 1 Samuel 15:22, Samuel replied, does the Lord delight in burnt offerings and sacrifices as much as in obeying the Lord? To obey is better than sacrifice, and to heed is better than the fat of rams. Saul thought his sacrifice was worth more than his obedience to God. And God will always pick obedience over sacrifice. If God tells you to love on someone, if God's like, you should meet up with this person, you should encourage them and pray for them. If God tells you that and you just give him more money in tithe, it's just not how it works. If God tells you, can you pray for this person? And you're like, no, I'll just spend more time with you. I'll just sacrifice more time for you. If we really put it into perspective in today's terms, obedience is clearly better than sacrifice. And Saul failed to see that obedience is better than sacrifice. Let's look at Saul's fruit. So David's fruit was the honor of having our Lord Jesus in his lineage, in his genealogy. And anyone know Saul's genealogy? So he had a son named Ishbosheth. Anyone heard of Ishbosheth? My point. That's exactly my point. Literally no one knows Ishbosheth. I couldn't even read it the first time. And Ishbosheth became the king of Israel for 2 years after Saul died. And I don't see any saviors coming out of that lineage. I don't see anyone saving the world from that lineage. And that was the big contrast in between submitting to the process and obeying God versus seeing that sacrifice was better and not being able to submit to the process and taking matters into your own hands. That was David versus Saul. Now, I'm not saying waiting is easy. Like, waiting is definitely hard. And even if I just sat in silence right now, so you guys are just waiting for me to speak. You guys all probably got really uncomfortable. You know, waiting isn't easy. I know you guys are all waiting for me to speak. You guys all have that anticipation. And I'm not saying waiting is easy. Waiting is definitely hard. But always remember that your obedience to submit to the process will please God so much more than the things you sacrifice to try to please Him. Your obedience to God shows your trust to God, your faith to believe in something greater than yourself, and the hope that you have, a hope that you have for a brighter future with God. Now, probably asking, Matt, how do I wait in the process? How do I do this well? Because, not all you guys sound like that. But a realistic application is, because we live in an era where instant gratification is a thing, we complain immediately if things aren't fast enough. If the server crashes on Pokemon Go, y'all get angry. If internet is a little bit slower than usual, you'll get angry. If the church Wi-Fi is down, you get angry. I don't know why you get angry, because it's not even your Wi-Fi. I don't know why you get mad. And even when it rains, you guys get mad. Like, why? So we get mad by not getting the things that we want. So instead of finding reasons to complain about in the process, find reasons to not complain. Find reasons to be thankful for in the process. It's really tempting to find things to complain about. But this isn't working, my internet is slow, my feelings hurt. Your feelings matter, but you wallowing in your self-pity isn't going to get you anywhere. So find things, if you're struggling to find joy and hope, find things to be hopeful for, find things to be grateful for, and really choose to be joyful, because that is a choice. And sometimes when I driving to school, it takes me 45 minutes. And I used to drive to school for, I had to wake up at 8, leave my house at 8 a.m. And every day, I had to drive 45 minutes there, 45 minutes back. And I was miserable. Because I'm not much of a morning person, and I don't really sleep much. So I would like fall asleep while I was driving a lot. Don't do that, but I did that. But by the grace of God, I'm alive today. Okay? But one time, I was driving to school, and I was really tired. I was like, I can't do this, I'm so tired. And then I was at a red light, and then I fell asleep. And I don't know for how long I was out for, but I opened my eyes like, and I looked up. Thank God. The traffic didn't move at all because it was construction. I was like, God, thank you. It was so hard for me to drive to school every day, drive back at night every day. But what really helped me was choosing to be joyful, choosing to worship God even when things were hard, choosing to worship God when I was a little bit more sleepy. Just choosing to be joyful really makes you a powerful person. Because finding hope, finding joy in places where there is the hope and joy, that makes you a truly powerful person. Because if you're joyful, literally nothing can stop you. Like, if I'm having a great day, and let's say little Catherine here slaps me, that's not going to ruin my day. Like, let's say I win the lottery. If Catherine slapped me, if that really mattered to me, because I won the lottery. So my point is that if you're joyful, you can't be stopped. So that is my realistic application to you. So, Percy, I'll invite you guys to come up. And before, so approximately David waited about 17 years 17 years to become a king. He waited 17 years in the process. So that process can legally have a license in New Jersey. 17 years. That's how old the process was. And for me, I came to America in 2004. So I was 8 years old when I came to America. And my family, we went straight to this church. Actually, I've been here since I was 8. And my mom told me about this guy named God. This invisible guy named God really cares for you. And there was a guy named Jesus who died for you, who really wants to care for you. And I knew who Jesus was because she made me watch Passion of Christ when I was 8. And I cried so much. Why is he bleeding? What is happening? Because like they speak in Hebrew in some of the parts. I'm like, what are they saying? Because I barely spoke English at the time. Like my mom and I wouldn't speak English at the time, but we watched Passion of Christ. And I was traumatized. So I knew, oh, that's Jesus. I see him now. So I knew that there was a God and Jesus who really cared for me. And then my mom was like, hey, we really need this thing called a green card. I was like, what's that? She's like, it's something that we really need for legal documents. I was like, okay. And coming from a Buddhist family, I realized that you can pray to God. No one taught me that. So every night, ever since I was 8, I started praying. God, give me a green card. I don't know what to do. I want a green card. I didn't know what it was. I literally thought it was a green card. I had no idea what it was. I had no idea what it did. I don't know if it was magical, but that's what I prayed for. And today, it's 2016. I still don't have a green card. It's been 12 years since I've been praying. My family has been praying for 12 years for a green card. And there were moments in my life in the past 3 years where I wanted to take matters into my own hands. I almost gave a certain portion of my life. I almost dedicated a large amount of my life to organizations and people, and I might have had to move to different countries, different places, so that I can get a green card or citizenship. I was so close to taking matters into my own hands, but God actually said no to these things. He made me not go to these places. And what God spoke to me, what God told me was that He needs me here for a reason. In this process, as I'm submitting to the process, God's telling me that He needs me here for a reason. And it really assured me because my desire, one of my dreams is to be able to go to Mexico, Cambodia, to places all over the world and minister to children. I want to bring the joy of Jesus and the love of God to these children. When I was in 7th grade, when I was like on the verge of being fat and skinny, I started volunteering for Gospel Land, which is a children's ministry downstairs. I started volunteering because I wanted them to have fun. No matter where they were in their weeks, I wanted to make sure that they were happy one day. My goal was that even if their lives are hard, at least one day on Sunday when I see them, I can make them happy. I can cherish them, I can hold them, I can like throw them up in the air and play with them. That was my desire. That's why I started serving the children downstairs when I was in 7th grade. Because I wanted to see these kids happy, at least one day a week. And God gave me that desire, and now that desire evolved into something greater. I want to be able to see children happy all over the globe. That is my dream, and I know that is something that I will do in the future because God gave me that desire. This is something that I would love to do, and I know it's just a process. Right now, it's just a process, and I just have to submit to it. It's tough. I know some of you guys are going through like the same situation. Very tricky, very tough. But God's not going to neglect your desires. If you have dreams, keep dreaming. Because God is going to talk to you about it. He's going to plan your dreams with you. He's going to go through it with you. And He's going to answer your prayers. Without a doubt. So my prayer for a green card is still 12 years in coming. But what assures me is that God's got my back. You know? Maybe I'm not ready for it. Maybe He just needs me to go through something. Maybe I need to become a little bit more mature to be able to minister to these children all over the globe. Who knows? So I want us to go into a time of prayer, and let's look at the things that we're waiting for. So let's close our eyes, and as we bow our heads, And I can actually ask you guys to rise. I want to invite you guys to close your eyes and think about something that you're waiting for. You know, you're waiting for God to answer a prayer. Are you waiting for God to give you something? Are you waiting for God to speak to you? Whatever it is that you're waiting for, no matter how big or small, it matters to God. Because it certainly matters to you. And these desires that you have, God wants to give it to you more than you want yourself. Because God gave you that desire as well. So I want us to close our eyes and just talk to God. God, this is something that I want. God, this is something that I want to do. God, how long do you want me to wait for? How do you want me to wait? How can I wait for? So let's just speak to God right now.